Let's turn to the story now. Some Johannesburg residents are again facing water cuts. Earlier this week, large parts of the city were left with dried taps due to the power outage at the Eikenhof pump station. That pump station was then serviced and repaired, and there was a promise, of course, of water being restored progressively throughout the days. Let's speak now to Joburg Water Managing Director Ntshavheni Mukwevho on the state of affairs. Good to have you, MD, and thank you very much for your time. The concern now that is coming out from the residents, even to the point of threatening a rates boycott, is that water cuts are becoming a frequent occurrence. What's the explanation for that?
Thank you very much, and good evening to you and to the viewers out there. The issue that we are experiencing currently, which started on Sunday last week, was as a result of power failure. And that power, basically the first one, in fact, happened on Sunday early hours at Eikenhof pump station. This is the pump station for our back supplier. And that was as a result of lightning. And of course, the issue was attended by our sister company, City Power, which supplies power there. And it was resolved at about 9:30 on Sunday morning. Unfortunately, on Monday evening, at about 8 o'clock, there was another incident relating to power at the same pump station. And you'll understand that this is the same power station that was affected the day before, so it was still in the process of recovery. And that second power failure that happened, unfortunately, it was a major issue that it could only be resolved the next day. So the power issue was resolved fully around about midnight on Tuesday. And then that's when the back supply started pumping.
Yeah.
Of course, at that particular time, the system that we are talking about doesn't only supply City of Johannesburg, it supplies even other neighboring municipalities like West Rand, Mogale City, and so on. It is indeed a big system. From the City of Johannesburg, it supplies almost about 50% of our city. So because of the time that it took to really resolve the issue of the power, of course, the entire system that it supplies was empty by that time.
Yeah.
And of course, to bring it back, it's quite a process.
So Action SA would have been in Soweto, Klipspruit, about 2 days ago, so it would have been Friday, and there was a water situation there as well. Is that still related to that?
Not necessarily. That we can check, and I'll tell you why I'm saying that. Because out of all the area that were affected, in fact, the greater Soweto area was affected, part of the Lenasia and Lenasia South was affected, as well as some suburbs around south of Johannesburg, suburbs like Winchester Hills, Crown Garden, Robertsham. Then when you move towards the western part of Johannesburg, the greater Randburg, it was affected, as well as the greater Roodepoort. So in the main, Soweto, we were able to stabilize it. In the main, all our reservoirs there are back supplying normally. So there could have been an isolated issue which we can be able to look at, the issue that you have mentioned.
Yeah.
So the area that is really still affected from the major interruption that happened as a result of electricity supply, the area that are still affected even today in the main is around Randburg area. Our Blegori Reservoir, Linden Reservoir have not recovered.
But to some residents, they say we can hear the lightning strike, the power outages. It's a once-off kind of situation that would happen. It's nature. One, of course, can't control that. However, the water crisis, the crippling water challenges in the city of Johannesburg have been a thing that has been with us for a while now, and including massive water bills. Others are saying, in fact, there's evidence that's revealing that households are even being charged quite literally for air that is in the pipes because there's just no water coming out of them.
So how the system of water supply for City Johannesburg works. We, as you all know, we get our water supply from our back supplier and water. And and the water that we get here, it comes through Measure 3 pump station into the City of Johannesburg. And of course, if you even go back historically, you'll find that the number of interruptions that happen around the Eikenhof pump station. I know from our sister company, City Power, they've been doing some work, and they're doing some work still to make sure that they get the power supply to that pump station more reliable. So if you look in the main, there have been a lot of power issues that affect water supply to that pump station, water supply from that pump station. I can indicate also to you that you may have seen that today, as we're busy in the process of recovery, there were issues of power supply that really impacted our progress that we've made. But I'll be able to share with you later on as to say what are we going to do further to make sure that we get where we want to in terms of recovery.
So the backlog, so to speak, if you like, if you look at some of the reports that we are getting in the maintenance of this infrastructure, when are you going to catch up with that backlog?
So indeed, the issue of the infrastructure renewal, replacement, is a major challenge, and I'm sure it may not be a major challenge to us only. As things stand right now, it's in public knowledge, it's in our business plan, it's in our annual report. You have seen that we have indicated that indeed we have a backlog to the tune of about 27 billion. This is really the infrastructure that we should have replaced, but of course, due to limited resources, we haven't been able to get to that infrastructure. So we are currently on the drive of partnering with various stakeholders that can be able to assist us really to improve in terms of the infrastructure investment. If you go through our annual report, our business plan, you'll see that we invest on annual basis about R1 billion. But in order for us to be able to clear that backlog, we need to invest much more than that. So what is it that we are doing? So we are partnering with entities, some of entities of government, so that we can be able to either venture into space like performance-based contracts that can be able to assist us in getting private sector that can be able to invest in the water infrastructure so that they can assist us in clearing that, especially in those assets that has to do or that contribute to non-revenue water. So that's the next approach that we are going to use, because we recognize that the current approach, of course, that we utilize, that relies more on allocation, it won't necessarily be able to take us where we want fast. So the approach that we are using now is to see that we're able to bring in private sector as well where we can.
So you are the bulk water supplier. Of course, municipalities are the reticulation agents that take the water into the actual homes of the people. But what we have seen in recent past is either the municipalities blaming the bulk water supplier or the bulk water supplier blaming the municipalities. Is there a better collaborative effort coming from both of you? Because it seems challenges can be on both sides at this point.
Just probably to correct or to indicate, we are on the municipal side. The Johannesburg Water is an entity wholly owned by the city of Johannesburg. So it supplies water to the residents of the city on behalf of the city of Johannesburg. So indeed, we are collaborating with our bulk supplier, Red Water. We meet on regular basis, tanker team meet daily, in fact, every morning, so that we can be able to exchange information in terms of the status of the system and the way that we need to manage it. And furthermore, we are also collaborating, of course, in terms of the medium to long-term plan around issues of investment and so on. So there are a lot of engagement that happen between ourselves.
The private tankers as well that are seemingly now operating in the city of Johannesburg, it should be an area of concern for you, because private individuals have now taken it upon themselves to hire tankers in parts, for example, of Randburg, which we have seen at least in the past couple of days. What exactly is the challenge as far as water tankers are concerned when it comes to situations like what we have seen, where, of course, there could be an outage or Eikenhof is not properly working?
I think the issue there, it was mainly that the area that was affected, especially beginning of the week, it was quite a vast area. And of course, to run the water tankering operation in area like that, it's not an easy operation at all, especially because if, the zone around those area or those depots, the system is dry, it means they have to travel long distance to go and get water. So that really was contributing to some of the delay that we're experiencing in terms of getting the water to the area that we wanted. But I must indicate that since towards the end of the week, once we've started stabilizing most of the area like Greater Randburg, Greater Rodiport, Greater Soweto, as well as some of the areas that were affected by other issues that were happening of maintenance like center. So we're able to redirect all those water tankers to the area that are still affected, which is in the Randburg area. So the issue was really the issue of movement of water tanker and as well the number, considering the area that has been affected.
We appreciate your time, Managing Director there for Joburg Water, Ntshavheni Mukwevho, and thank you very much for coming on right when we